New railway transport route announced. Will this collaboration between Russia and Iran make US sanctions useless? What are the possible benefits and risks related to this? Watch to find out. From Eastern Europe to the Indian Ocean, Russia and Iran have disclosed their plan for creating an extensive transcontinental railway trade route. This trailblazing infrastructure endeavor aims to create a supply chain that is resistant to any form of sanctions. Both nations can participate in commerce with rapidly expanding Asian markets while avoiding Western interference. This article explores how significant this railway route is, particularly in terms of great power competition and its potential to change global trade networks. By redirecting their attention towards the east, Russia and Iran have taken a strategic step in establishing alternative supply chains that can resist any form of foreign intervention. Commuters and shipments can gain greater exposure to markets in Iran, India, the Middle East, and Africa through their offerings. This railway route between Russia and Iran is set to open up a new business regime, putting the U.S. influence in danger, and their sanctions in shadows of ignorance. In response to Western sanctions that limit trade opportunities for both Russia and Iran, this move was necessary. Through reinforcing economic bonds amongst themselves and broadening their horizons in the East, these countries strive to diminish their reliance on Western markets. Likewise, their objective is to isolate themselves from any unfavorable repercussions of sanctions. By realigning strategically, we highlight the changing dynamics of global trade. Nations are restructuring their conventional partnerships to secure their financial concerns amidst a progressively unsteady and capricious global context. Both Russia and Iran gain multiple benefits from this. By shortening existing routes, it significantly lowers transportation costs and transit times. By increasing efficiency, both trade competitiveness and overall connectivity within the region have been improved. Besides that, the railroad trade link enables Russia and Iran to access and exploit the huge potential of quickly developing Asian economies. Investment and trade prospects abound in markets located in Iran, India, the Middle East, and Africa. The creation of alternative supply chains impervious to Western intervention presents an opportunity for Russia and Iran to grow their economic relations in these regions. This will aid in their own economic expansion and advancement. Still, the accomplishment of this fresh commercial route does not completely hinge on Russia and Iran. The success of this requires other countries' collaboration and participation, especially from those along the route. This alternative trade corridor's effectiveness and sustainability depend on the involvement of countries like India and those in the Middle East. The critical Sea of Azov is a part of the northern region covered by the Russian-Iran transcontinental railway trade route. Between Crimea, Ukraine's southwest coast, including Russia-controlled Mariupol, and where River Don meets, is a body of water. For Russia and Iran alike, expanding trade capabilities in this region is paramount to strengthening their economic ties with countries like India, the Middle East, and Africa. To ensure development in this region, it is crucial to have a complete infrastructure for ships, railways, and roads as stressed upon by Russian President Vladimir Putin. Unlocking the full potential of trade route requires essential infrastructure improvements that enhance connectivity and enable efficient transportation of goods. For Russia, the Sea of Azov is an essential maritime passage that enables their trade ambitions. Enhanced port facilities and logistics infrastructure have turned the region into a critical hub for both importing and exporting. Accessing global markets more efficiently could be facilitated for Russian firms by utilizing this strategic location. Russia can enhance its export potential and global economic presence by creating effective trade connections. By using the Sea of Azov, Iran can create new trade opportunities and decrease their dependency on conventional Western paths. The area creates another entryway for Iranian merchandise to access international markets, circumventing the restrictions enforced by Western sanctions. By building stronger economic connections with Russia and other nations along the way, Iran can foster closer cooperation and facilitate increased trade volumes. With its advanced ship, rail, and road infrastructure in place at the northern end of the corridor, connecting land to sea routes is now effortless. The integration makes the transportation process more efficient and streamlines trade operations. Using the connected infrastructure, Russian companies can optimize their supply chains and minimize expenses. It will improve the overall competitiveness of their products in the global market with this. Furthermore, advanced infrastructure in the north area boosts economic advancement. It opened new investment prospects up, which generated employment and stimulated local economies. Directing and looking for obligatory infrastructure triggers an avalanche of benefits, simulating growth and wealth in the encompassing zones. Nonetheless, it should be emphasized that the vicinity surrounding the Sea of Azov continues to be a point of geopolitical strain. The project is a big knock in the eyes for the US government, as a budget of almost $25 billion is necessary for constructing the Russia-Iran railway trade route, requiring significant investments from both nations. Again, if major nations are investing, where are the sanctions? This considerable monetary undertaking highlights their commitment to developing a durable inland trade pathway that can evade Western commerce restrictions. The aim is to enable the movement of goods that are being restricted by the West in order to strengthen economic connections and advance trading capabilities among Russia, Iran, and Asia's rapidly expanding markets. Nevertheless, this bold undertaking faces its own hurdles. The realization of the trade route requires Russia and Iran to successfully navigate an array of challenges. Constructing railway infrastructure is technically challenging. Developing a railway that spans across continents involves planning extensively, having engineering expertise, and allocating resources efficiently. Another noteworthy barrier emerges from geopolitical factors. There are many geopolitical conflicts and issues in the area where the railway runs through. Russia-Ukraine's continuous conflict, particularly in regions such as Crimea and eastern part, leads to an additional level of difficulty for developing and running the trade route. The region presents a challenging situation for businesses operating there. The project's sustained success hinges on resolving these geopolitical challenges and promoting stability in the region. Addressing diplomatic hurdles is also necessary. Having collaboration with other nations along its route, such as India and countries in the Middle East, is vital for ensuring that the trade corridor operates effectively. To ensure that the trade route operates smoothly and gains support from important parties involved, diplomatic negotiations, coordinations, and agreements are required. The creation of a railway trade route between Russia and Iran serves as a vital component in building a supply chain which can resist sanctions. It aims to promote trade among Russia, Iran, and flourishing Asian markets by bypassing interruptions from Western countries. Russia and Iran's efforts to fortify their economic connections throughout Eurasia are advanced by this infrastructure project. Included in this are agreements on trade as well as energy with states like Russia, China, along with nations located in Central Asia. Russia, together with Iran, intends to create alternative routes for commerce that would bypass the sanctions imposed by the US and EU through their established partnerships. The creation of supply chains that can resist sanctions is extremely important for both Russia and Iran. Western sanctions have caused both countries to experience major economic difficulties due to limitations on accessing international markets and financial systems. Creating alternative trade routes is their strategy to lessen dependence on Western markets and protect their economies against the negative impacts of sanctions. The railway trade route provides an unbroken transport connection which ensures safe and easy trading without fear of interruption from Western interference or limitations. In line with a worldwide movement towards reviewing trade relationships and building stronger supply chains, this initiative represents one country's contribution to the trend. The rise in great power competition, along with fragmentation of the global economy into opposing blocs, prompted nations, including Russia and Iran, to concentrate on enhancing their connections with Asian economies by leaning towards one another. Their goal is to broaden their trade connections and minimize their susceptibility to Western sanctions, which are now a prominent tactic in worldwide politics. That being said, achieving a thriving Russia-Iran railway trade route largely hinges on how well neighboring nations collaborate with each other. Trade routes' effectiveness and viability are determined by countries like India and those in the Middle East. Being faced with an arduous decision, these countries must determine whether following Western sanctions is worth potentially forfeiting the economic benefits of engaging with Russia and Iran, or to resist the pressure and establish stronger economic connections with these nations. Entities involved in breaking their sanctions have been warned by the United States about facing additional penalties. Countries are compelled to make a choice between keeping their ties with Western powers due to this pressure. The decision to take advantage of the potential financial gains through utilizing the Russia-Iran trade corridor is also theirs to make. If these countries can successfully navigate this intricate geopolitical landscape, the route has a bright future ahead. Making decisions that match their own economic interests is essential. Essential in encouraging cooperation from other nations are diplomatic efforts, economic incentives, and effective communication. Having a dialogue to address concerns is necessary for Russia and Iran. The highlighting of mutual benefits derived from participating in the trade corridor is also necessary. Their task is to exhibit how enhanced regional connectivity, economic growth, and increased trade volumes can be achieved. By cultivating trustworthy relationships with these countries, Russia and Iran can reinforce the sustainability of the trade route. Subscribe to this channel for more information about transportation routes. Russia and Iran have announced a new transcontinental railway trade route, which marks an important development in the ongoing great power competition. This marks the remodeling of worldwide trade networks. This railway seeks to establish a supply chain to trade with Asia without Western involvement. Still, the prosperity of this undertaking rests on teamwork of other countries. Their determination to tackle the complexities of diplomatic tensions and trade limitations. This project could redefine the dynamics of global trade, causing challenges to US and EU sanctions. This video popping up on your screen will tell you about the new liaison between Russia and Saudi Arabia that is set to change fortunes for both countries.